Hi everybody. I decided something rattled me just enough about a product that I just tried to make my own video. So this is really my first shot at doing anything for YouTube, and I hope that you'll bear with me because I may or may not talk that well. I am using this firearm right here, which by the way has been checked and safe. I plan on using this gun for carry and for having at home for self-defense purposes. And I started wondering, when you really need to get a shot off, if, you know, heaven forbid, you should ever actually need to, what kind of sight picture are you going to get? Well, I really got to thinking about it and decided that in the middle of the night when all the lights are off or whatever, and you may or may not be able to get anything but a really fast sight picture, there's no way in heck that these are going to do much good. So I started looking at all the different options there were for lasers and things of that nature, and because I plan on this being a carry gun, anything that mounts to this part of the firearm was just completely out of the question for me. Most holsters are made to fit the gun like a glove, and that stuff is just can't be there. So the next thing that I went on to, there's really only two other big options out there, one of which is the Crimson Trace grip. Now, I'm a big fan of the Crimson Trace stuff. It seems to be really good quality. There's almost no bad stuff on the internet out there about them. But what I did not like about the Crimson Trace stuff is that being an XD, the grip on this gun is already fairly thick. And adding anything to the outside of it just seems to me like it would add more to what is already a pretty substantial grip. So I looked at the next one, which is the Lasermax guide rod laser. And I read online, and there seemed to be good reviews and bad reviews, and most people, it seemed to me, just didn't know what they were talking about and hadn't really tried the product but wanted to try and talk bad on it. So I decided that for me, this would be a really good option because it would leave the gun basically in completely stock form as far as the outside goes and would still function. And I liked the little switch that it has, and I'll go into that in a minute. But anyway, so I ordered it, and I got it. And it came in this nice little box with all of the wonderful paperwork and the registration and the nice foam and everything. And I took the parts out, and I took out the manual, and I read the instructions all the way through, and it basically says field strip and put the new parts in and put it back together. Okay. So I started to field strip my gun, which I'm going to do here for you. You can see again, it's been safety checked. I've done 2 takes, and I don't know if I did that on this take, but it is safe. So we'll field strip here. Take the firearm apart. There's the stock one. Basically what happens is you take out the stock guide rod, you take this one, you drop the little batteries inside, and this is what I first noticed. This little cap right here that goes onto the back of this thing is made of freaking plastic. For those of you who may or may not be really familiar with this gun, the back of the guide rod actually sits on metal, and the stock one is metal. So that means that when you get this together and you put it inside the gun, what it's resting on that little piece of the barrel, is going to be plastic. So I got it all together and I put it inside the gun just like I was supposed to, and I'll show you here just for fun. And it seemed like it was kind of a loose fit, but I thought, well, maybe that's just the way they are, and I'll go try it and see what happens. And you can probably see I'm fiddling around with it here, and that'll get to what my problem was in a second. I went up to the range, and I had some magazines loaded, and I did some firing with it, and I got through probably 2 full 12-round magazines before I started having issues. The gun would no longer feed, so I field stripped it right there, and I looked, and something interesting happened. As you can see, the unit, it's still basically new. There doesn't look to be anything wrong with it, and I know the lighting's not very good, but you can't really tell. But there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with it. Strangely, though, what was a loose fit to begin with, or not a very tight fit, has now become so loose that I can actually do this. It's actually going into place and out of place right now. So it's basically been rendered useless. So within the first day, within the first 2 magazines, the stupid little plastic cap, which is way the downfall of a really, really cool, really well-engineered thing, has basically taken my $289 and flushed it down the warranty toilet. So basically, I've emailed the company. It was late in the day, and it's Friday, so I didn't really want to call them and make their Friday any worse. I sent them off an email that basically told them everything I'm telling you and said, what do you want me to do about it? And I also explained to them that I thought that having the plastic cap on the end that rests in the barrel is about the stupidest idea on earth. So we'll see what they say. But anyway, my basic review of the product is that it's really good. It's the exact stock springs, just like it should be. It fit into place very well. The laser is good enough for anybody to see. I know everybody talks about, it's not as bright as the Crimson Trace. Phooey, it doesn't matter. You're going to be able to see both of them, and especially for me, for this being a carry gun, and they say most things happen at like 7 yards, yeah, you're going to be able to see it just fine. It's beautiful. So anyway, all in all, this much of it, a really great product. The little stupid plastic cap is crap, and I'm really hoping that at some point they figure out how to fix that, because that's completely the downfall of the product. And because of that, depending on what they do, if they're going to warranty it for me or what, I may end up having to go with the Crimson Trace, and they just lost a customer all because of this. So anyway, that is my real quick review of the Lasermax guide rod laser for the Springfield XD. I know some are different in how they switch, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.